Hello Aries, this is your extended reading. So, it's very interesting. The cards that are here for your extended, I feel like they're telling a little bit more about the story of this one and, the reasons behind they're taking the reasons behind they're taking so long to answer is what I meant to say. It's just that, coming as the Knight of Pentacles, I feel like they know that they have a lot to learn still. And I feel like they look up to you a lot, right, Aries? So I feel like somehow they still have work to do on their own, within themselves, that are just knocking down their confidence. Remember, as I said, they're working on their confidence because to approach you, to answer you, I feel like they're a little bit wary, they're a little bit uncomfortable, or they just don't see themselves with the full confidence that you already have, right? And so it's interesting because we start this reading today, this extended, with the Ten of Swords. And so, these are the battles that the Knight of Pentacles is fighting, right? So it's like, they could be going through a lot that you really don't know. And by expecting them to answer within the time frame that you wanted, because you just want more passion, more enthusiasm, more just this fast response, right? I feel like you're actually triggering them in a very profound kind of way, right? I feel like you're giving them actually more anxiety than they already have. I feel like they're not as confident as you, as I said, Aries, and they're not sharing what they're going through, So I feel like the message here with this first card for the extended is do not pressure them, right? You don't really know what's going on in their lives or within their head, right? Especially because I feel like with this Ten of Swords, I feel like either this is you or someone else that is already pressuring them enough, because what I'm seeing today with these two swords in the middle is like there is someone behind them, or maybe it's just this self-negative talk that they already have within themselves that is very sabotaging for them, right? And they don't share it with anyone. What I'm seeing here is like they are trying to deal it on their own. But so this is where things change a little bit for them. I feel like once, and maybe this is the purpose of this message, right? Just to give you a heads up that you're pressuring them too much. And when you release that, or maybe when they are released from this pressure, because here I'm seeing, these two swords being them and another energy, right? A negative energy pressuring them. And then here, when they are alone, I feel like somehow the pressure lifts off. It's like, it's almost like they can breathe again, right? And so this is their recuperation process. This is their time to just breathe and think clearly, right? Because I feel like, this whole process that they are taking their time to just plan things or just to set the stage in order to give you the answer in the best possible way, right? I feel like they are struggling a lot mentally, right? They're thinking a lot, and maybe it's not all good, right? With the 10 and the 9 of Swords, right? If you think of the traditional meaning, these two are really heavy cards. So maybe in their minds, they're just, working a lot of their own stuff. So they're not rushing things because they already have a lot on their plate, right? And you adding your own requests or your own desires that you wish they would fulfill in your own time, I feel like you're not helping Aries. But I feel like at some point if it is you that is pressuring them, I feel like you do release them, right? So they can breathe again. You give them a little room for breathing, right? And I feel like once they do have this, it's like fresher air is what I'm hearing. Fresher air. And when they do get this fresher air, I feel like with the Three of Wands, you know, what you were expecting, Aries, right, becomes clear for them. You know, finally, what I'm hearing. And, you know, I'm just hearing you saying it, like, finally they get what I want. It's almost like you're talking to me. But they do get that, right? It's just that they need time to sort things out for themselves, to think for themselves, right? And with you pressuring them, you're not helping, right? So by releasing that, they can begin to see it. And not only see it, it's interesting because, you know, we do have the Ace of Swords here. So yes, they do see it. But what I'm sensing with the Three of Wands for you today, Aries, as in like this high expectation that you have put on them, right, to answer you back, you know, it's like the beginning stages of their confidence coming back to them. So it's like by giving them some space, right, you just ignite them a little bit, that it all becomes clear to them. Not only what you wish, what you want from them, but also what they want, right? With the Three of Wands. So, and I feel like maybe both of you want the same thing. It's just that maybe they think they're not at your stage, so they couldn't give you an answer that would be balanced enough, right? So when they really begin to feel the excitement, right, which is also something that you want, right? You want the excitement. I feel like they do want it too, but they didn't have the time, or they didn't have the mental space to think about it in that sense, right? If it's a relationship, you know, just, it could be a love relationship or a business relationship. Either way, I feel like their passion is starting to brew. Remember, as I said, there is something brewing, but they're taking their time to figure it out. And I feel like it gets to a point where when they are left alone, is what I'm hearing. When they are left alone, maybe from you, Aries, they begin to sense it, and they begin to want it too, because they see it clearly now, right? It's like this instant knowing that comes to them with the Ace of Swords, that this vision is not too far away. That's one thing too, right? Because you being two queens and them being just a knight, I feel like there was this sort of imbalance that they knew. So it's like for them, it wasn't fair enough, right? It's almost like they had to figure things out before they could give you an answer. But now that they know it, because they see it again, right? Both of these two cards are talking about this vision that they're now having clarity about. I feel like they do answer you, but they don't answer maybe in the way that you're expecting, because as I said, with both of these cards, right, and also these two, right, the Queen of Wands and the Queen of Cups, the Ace of Wands and the Two of Cups, I feel like you want a big show. You want this really spectacle, right? You want a lot of it. You want a lot of passion. You want a lot of desire, a lot of love. It's like too much, too much, too much. You know, you want a big sign, a big event, a big meeting, whatever it is. I feel like you want the whole package, right? And that's what you're expecting from them, because I feel like this is what you could give them in a sense. But for them, as I said, they're not exactly on the same page as you. They still have room to grow. They still have a lot of maturing process to go on. So, and they're doing that. They're respecting that time, right? But I feel like once they do get this knowing, and it's almost like their passion is starting, the fire in their belly is starting to grow again, right? And their confidence also, right? It's not just the desire that is burning inside of them, just about to start, right? But it's the confidence to answer you. So with the Page of Swords following the Ace of Swords, I feel like somehow it's like this small gesture or a small response, right? If you're expecting the whole package, know that they're going to answer with a text. Know that they're going to answer with a small gift. Know that they're going to answer with a small offer, right? It's not something big, but I feel like somehow you do get that, right? Because you have already left them alone to think things through. So I feel like you already know that they have their own time and their own way of showing what they want, showing what they think, showing, just giving the answer that they want to, right? And so here, with following the Page of Swords coming with the Seven of Cups, I feel like this is the answer in a way, right? Because they were studying, they were analyzing, they were preparing this terrain, right, with the Seven of Pentacles. And when they do give you the answer with the Page of Swords, the answer is Seven of Cups. So it's like whatever they were preparing, it had to take the time that it did because it involved more than just practical matters, right? It involved their feelings. It involved them, working out all of that was up in their heads and just transmuting that and, seeing what they really, really wanted for their future. And by doing so, it's like, as I said, their confidence is slowly brewing, is slowly growing. But I feel like it's not only the confidence to talk to you, to answer you. I feel like it's the confidence to show their heart, right? With the Seven of Cups. So I feel like they are, even though they're coming with the Knight of Pentacles, I feel like they have a lot to give you, Aries. They just don't know exactly how to express it. So they could be a little bit sloppy. It's the word that's coming through, right? So that's why it's like it's mandatory for them that they take the time to study how to approach you back, right? To give you the answer, because they could be a little bit inexperienced, right? And so because they have so many ways or possibilities of giving you this answer, I feel like they're going with the most simple way, right, of doing so, of expressing themselves, which could be very directly, right? Which could be like, I like you, or you're hired, or whichever message they're answering you back. It could be very simple, very direct, very, very obvious, right? Because they are struggling emotionally, right? How to say it, how to express it. But I feel like somehow you, Aries, I feel like once this dynamic starts flowing, right? Once you give them time to think things through and they start feeling, a little bit lifted from the heaviness that they were, or the pressure that you were putting on them, I feel like they do get a little bit more self-confident and aware of what they really want, what they really desire, perhaps with you, perhaps with the wishes or the desires that you shared with them, or the proposal that you made for them, right? And I feel like you're learning how to answer them back, how to interact with them in a way that is not filled with pressure, and maybe, unconscious pressure, right? Maybe you are not aware that with your intensity, you are scaring them away. But I feel like you do learn that, right? Because you're answering with the Page of Cups. So here it's beautiful because, now you're on the same page. And this is interesting because it's a page. Anyways, so fun aside, I mean, you are on the same page, right? Now there's balance, right? Because it's actually, so the balance here is that although you individually, Aries, coming with 2 queens, right? You have a lot of authority, you have a lot of self-confidence, you have a lot of knowing of who you are and of what you want, right? It's very clear for you. Individually, they still have a lot of growth to do on their own. And here, so, there is this disparity, this imbalance between both of you individually speaking. But I feel like once you do realize that, right, you really perceive the imbalance between your confidence and their lack of confidence, and you give them time to develop that, right? I feel like you start from the beginning almost. You both know that the relationship itself, whether it's romantic or work related, the relationship itself, it's just starting. It's just the beginning, right? Both of you have a lot to learn from each other, right? And being the queen, Page of Cups and the Page of Swords, I feel like you understand that their struggles, perhaps their emotional struggles, or their lack of confidence in showing the truth of their heart, right? Or for finding the clarity within their heart, right? And for finding their passion. I feel like somehow you see that in them and you love that about them. So it's almost like you both have a lot to gain from this exchange, from this relationship. It's just that you have to be on the same page to actually learn from each other, right? And to interact and to begin the relationship itself, right? So this is where we end this part. So as a final guidance now, because I feel like it's very clear for me, it's just like, be patient. They are taking the time that they need to develop their confidence to give you the answer that you want. And I feel like you do understand that at some point, Aries. So let's see what the astrological runes have to add as a final guidance for you, Aries. Oh my god, this rune is like, lately it's coming through a lot. So the sun came out for you, Aries, and you, being a fire sign, really lit up, right? With a lot of confidence, with a lot of passion, with a lot of love, with a lot of intensity. What this sun is saying is that you don't have to dim your light. You just need to give them space to find their own light. You see, it's not about stop being who you are. Not at all. It's just stop pressuring them to be as you are, you see, or to answer you in the same intensity as you do have, because you have a lot of energy. But both of you do, right? It's just that you already know the power of your light, Aries. They're still finding clarity in it. They're still finding what really ignites their soul, their true desires, right? So they could be, confused to a point that they are knocked down by your light. But if you let them shine naturally on their own, following their own path, deciding for themselves, you know, working out their own struggles, right? Not being pushed by your pressure, right? I feel like they will find their light. They will find their confidence. So you don't, it's like just wait for them to find it, right? They will get there as you did. So do not stop being who you are, but don't expect others to be exactly as you want them to be, right? Let them be themselves, right? So this is actually very beautiful. I love this message from the sun for you as a final guidance. So I hope it was insightful, Aries. Thank you so much for being here with me. Yeah, I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.